Well, hello there, listener. Here we are again with a little preamble before the episode. We had an audio gremlin of my own making this week. I forgot to check my input, and I forgot to test my audio, as you'll hear in our cold open. And so I actually recorded this whole episode through my computer microphone. I just want to give you a heads up because although I think you can hear everything that I'm saying, my audio is much tinnier than usual, and also you can hear everything that goes on the desk. So when I'm typing, when I'm moving things around, when I'm playing with my putty that makes some annoying popping noises that wouldn't normally be audible, you can hear all of that. I did my best to silence it where I could, but when I'm talking, you'll still hear some of it. So I hope that you enjoy anyway, and we'll be back at our normal audio quality next week. You know, it's only been a year of podcasting. Someday I'll figure this stuff out. Bye and hi. I didn't test anything.
Oh, do you need to?
I don't think so. Everything looks normal.
Why would you need to
That's
test
how
it?
people do podcasts. They look at it.
Yeah. That's what I figure. So... Welcome to WayTooBroad, a place for friends to talk about things they're really ridiculously excited about. That's Ben, he's so rude, and that's Erin.
It's
She's
polite
a little bit less
to say hello when someone says hello.
I'm with Ben. I'm with Ben on this.
Okay, so that's what you guys are going to do from now on?
Yeah. Yes.
Wonderful.
Hello.
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 Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
How is everyone's life? Is everyone having a nice life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to get a hurricane.
What's a hurricane?
Hurricane.
Never heard of it. Hashtag West Coast life.
It's like a spiral of rain storm.
Sounds horrifying.
Yeah, we're going to get some, I think it's like we haven't seen, anything could happen. It could all just change. But it's supposed to be like the worst one since like the early 90s or something. I don't know.
Since Andrew?
Since Andrew?
Ooh, shit.
Oh, I think since Fran. It's going to be worse than Fran. Here.
Nothing's worse than Fran.
In the area. This is a really nice weather podcast. We should. Anyway, we might have a lot of rain this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I hope the best for you guys. I hope that it just magically gets sucked up into space and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, me too. And speaking of, I have an upfront thing.
Oh, okay. Speaking of what?
Speaking of a hurricane.
All right.
My upfront thing is your dad fucking hates me. Here's what he tweeted today. I'll just read this. It says, "Stay safe. Matt Brown, Karen Brown, Molly Brown, Dominic Brown, Chloe Brown. We're keeping an eye on Raleigh Durham." So he listed every immediate family member of mine and my wife, and not me. So your dad wants me to die in the hurricane, but everyone else, he wants to stay safe. So that's all. Just that your dad fucking hates me.
I told you that I wouldn't defend him, so I won't. Ben?
Oh, Ben.
I'm back.
Hey.
I could hear you the whole time.
Oh, you could? You guys froze on my screen.
You said, oh no, did I lose internet?
I sure
And we
did.
said, Ben, you can defend your dad.
Okay.
I wouldn't dare.
Listen, I just gotta say, Dad's Facebook automatically cross-posts to his Twitter, and you are not on Facebook, Erin.
Well, it doesn't say that it was posted from Twitter, or from Facebook. How am I supposed to believe that?
You're right. I don't know what platform he's using. It never does.
It's just a tweet. It's just a tweet that's like literally everybody else in my immediate family and also my wife Stay safe in the storm.
Yeah, here's the other thing. He could have just said, and also Erin,
right,
on his Facebook.
That's
would
right.
have killed him.
Exactly. So anyway.
Awkward.
So whatever the opposite of a shout out is, a shit
fuck
out.
Off.
A shit out.
To Uncle Brown, who doesn't care.
Those are
JK, of course.
Great options.
Just love.
Fuck offs to Uncle Brown, who doesn't care about Erin.
Who's not Karen. Who is drinking what?
Alright. Ben, what are you drinking?
Ice, water. Guys, I have an ice maker now. It's the best thing about this apartment.
Oh.
I'm jealous.
I love
That's a good thing
ice.
about a freezer. You could have had that in your other one. I'm just saying. That's not a good thing about an apartment. It's a good thing about like a fridge.
Yeah, but it came
That's
with the
true.
apartment.
That's true.
And
But it could have come with a lot of apartments.
So before, did you just like have to DIY your ice?
Yeah, it sucked. And I ran, because I eat so much goddamn ice, and I ran out of it all the time.
But cool. Congratulations on your ice maker. I am
congrats,
jealous.
Ben.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'm drinking seltzer right now.
What flav? What's that flav?
I got that Canada Dry seltzer again.
Oh, the curveball.
Yeah. I got the peach mango, which I think is the same one that I had last time. It's very good. And I think possibly Ian is making me tea right now because
Nice. You think
Don't-
Ian, or possibly Ian, is making you tea?
I think someone who I'm pretty sure is Ian is possibly making me tea. But I don't have any tea yet. I have no solid evidence of the identity or existence of the person or the tea.
I eagerly await both reveals.
Yeah. Erin, what are you drinking?
Well, I have a tropical pineapple Dasani sparkling
Ooh.
seltzer. I guess it's not a sparkling seltzer. I guess it's a sparkling water. And I have a rum beverage with dark rum, coconut rum, orange juice, pineapple seltzer. And I have a third mystery beverage that will be revealed in time.
Oh.
That beeping is relevant to
relevant?
To what?
my obsession.
Oh. Ooh, I think I might know what it is.
I don't know what it is, but that's okay.
We'll find out.
I wasn't paying close attention to the beeping, but now I just have a hunch.
I was going to check and see if we had any new emails. I don't think that we do. But
Email.
just to
I'm trying to think of
double
any more fun stuff. Ben, have you started watching Making It?
No, but I have almost finished the latest season of Great British Bake Off.
Cool. I think
That
we have
was one
2 more
thing.
episodes
I think
of
we do
it.
too, actually.
wow.
Cool.
Guys.
Did you
gotta
just
watch
finish Forgotten Bakes Week?
Yes. I don't want to spoil, but I remember.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil.
I remember who left in the last episode I watched.
Yeah.
I was really sad.
The
Yeah.
last episode I watched.
I mean, at this
Last
point,
episode I
have you watched the Forgotten Bakes?
Yeah, I did.
No, I meant Hannah now.
I've watched
Sorry, I was
all of
looking
them.
at Hannah. Ben, I was looking at Hannah.
I watched every last one. Oh, speaking of married, tomorrow is my anniversary.
Hey!
My 3-year wedding anniversary. So even though this will come out several days after my 3-year wedding anniversary, I want to give a shout out to Ian. Also because he baked us a WayTooBroad themed loaf of country bread yesterday.
It was beautiful.
Oh my god, this
Beautiful
yesterday.
loaf.
It was beautiful.
It was a nicely proofed loaf.
It was just absolutely gorgeous. Check out our Instagram and Twitter if you haven't. Just our most beautiful and first piece of fan art. It's both our first piece of fan art and our most beautiful. And our second piece of fan art that we get whenever we get that will not be as beautiful. And I'm sorry in advance.
Still do it, but
Yeah.
Also, since we last talked, we have officially launched our new logo, which was great timing because it came out with the new season. So now we have a new logo. It's really cute. And if you go on our socials to look at the bread, you can also see our adorable hand-drawn faces. I want to give a shout out to the woman who made it. Her name is Jess, and she goes by Gemrys on Twitter. So it's Gemry and then 3 S's. And Instagram also, I believe. She's cool. She was super awesome through the whole thing, and I love her work.
Great
Yeah,
job.
it's so great. And Hannah and I both updated our Twitter profile pictures to be our little people from the drawing. It's just such a great drawing. It embodies our podcast so well. It's so cute. We're all so great.
Laughing. We're all laughing in it and having a great time. And we're all standing up so you can see our real life height differences.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, they're pretty accurate.
I'm like, I'm like grabbing my own breast. It's really, it's great. It's like so, it really captures my personality in that way. Thank you to the artist. Thank you. I'm like really caressing it. It's really beautiful. Thank you to the artist. Thank you to Hannah for getting that together.
Oh, well, thanks to you guys for splitting the very reasonable price.
Yeah.
I still have to pay you for that, Erin.
Oh, consider it a moving gift.
I like that.
Speaking of earlier, before you hopped on, Hannah, I said to Ben, how's Callie? But I said it like, how's Callie? And he thought I said, how's Kylie? And I would be like, and I was like, why the fuck would I ask how Kylie is?
She's obviously great.
No need to ask.
She started work this week, though, right?
She sure did.
How's that been going? And also your internet.
Yeah.
Internet's been great. She's working from home. I think she's enjoying it. Como like hangs out on her desk all day if I'm gone because he can't stand being alone because he's a little baby. So he like sleeps on her desk or like in her laptop bag. I'll have to say, I can't even send you guys pictures of that today because it was so fucking cute. But yeah, she's very good at keeping herself motivated and working even when she's not like
That's
around
hard.
people working. Yeah.
That's really hard to do. A full-time work from home. I have a lot of respect for that. That's not easy.
Yeah. She's good at it.
No doubt.
Yeah. She's got her nice working space. You let her work in the pod loft, right?
Yeah, she rents.
Good.
Pays him a nice maker.
I forgot to check if there were emails. I don't think there are. I think I would have gotten
What the fuck are we doing then?
You were like, I'm gonna check if there are emails. What did you do then?
I
Count for yourself.
I don't know. I just wanted to see your faces. No, we didn't get any emails. I got some nice interactions, but I'm gonna save them for later.
Okay.
All right.
Like later this episode?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
What else happened? This was a fun I feel like last week's episode was really fun, and I got some nice feedback about it, but I'll save it.
Are you going to continue to tease the nice interactions you had about it?
Yeah.
And I also heard some really nice things. You won't believe it, but we'll hear that later.
7. It's like a clickbait article,
yeah.
But it's a podcast. Clickbait podcast. Is that a good concept?
No.
No.
You're right.
But hey, I appreciate the brainstorm.
Yeah.
It's always a bad idea if you never pitch it.
Oh, hey, speaking of
bad ideas? Brainstorming, okay.
Brainstorms. Erin and I were talking today, Ben, I don't know if you saw, about how Halloween is coming up fairly soon again.
Mm-hmm.
And last year we did our world famous Ghost versus Zombies episode. Everyone's been talking about it ever since and wondering what we're going to do to follow that up. So, what are we going to do to follow that up? Because I had suggested that we do Ghosts versus Zombies with different guests. Because today at work, I asked some people, and it did generate some interesting conversation. Not that I would invite any of them on the podcast. Obviously, they're you know.
What are your thoughts
Not worthy.
on vampires versus werewolves?
None thoughts.
No, none.
Like,
for me,
which is scarier?
Yeah, no, for me it would be less of a discussion of which is scarier and which is like cooler.
Which is cooler?
Yeah. Like, which would you rather want to be?
Okay.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
interesting.
And actually, that in the Elder Scrolls games, you can be both a vampire and a werewolf.
At the same time?
I don't think you can be at the same time. I think you have to be one or the other.
Forget it.
Excuse me?
I'm not interested in playing.
I want to be a Vam Wolf.
Yeah, actually, that's interesting. I would have thoughts about that, maybe.
We could also, just in a brainstorm sesh, bring our, we could do a normal obsession, but bring our, Halloween-themed obsession or something. Like, the Halloweeniest thing that we're obsessed with.
Candy corn. Candy corn.
Well, now Ben's blown that, so you can't do that.
Are we keeping all this in? I don't think this is very interesting, Tent.
I would like
talk about
I would like suggestions if people have them of what to do for a Halloween episode. That's why I brought it up.
I wouldn't be opposed to doing again the zombies versus vampire, zombie versus ghosts. I just don't have any new thoughts on it, but that doesn't mean the conversation wouldn't be interesting. But I feel like I would be repeating myself a lot because I'm like, well, yeah,
I think
are obviously scarier.
No one was moved from their position at all during the last episode, so we'd all just be saying the same things.
That's what I would worry about. It wouldn't necessarily happen, but I'd be worried about it. I don't feel like I have any fresh takes on it.
Yeah. Precisely.
Well, that's why I thought some fresh blood might be good. But then that brings us back to vampires. Or we could talk about what are your preferred rules. Vampires seems like they have especially a lot of rules.
Yeah.
About. So I don't know if you the listener, have thoughts about good Halloween themed discussions you've done in the past for your podcast. Let us know.
Let us play it on our podcast so we don't have to come up with the content.
Yeah, just let us know because we'd like to do something special for Halloween because it was fun last year.
We could bring a story or concept that's the scariest to us and talk about it and disagree with each other about why it's scary. I don't know, just brainstorm something.
All right, let's keep thinking about it. Let's hear from listeners and keep thinking about it. We've got some time.
Indeed, we've got some time.
Sometime.
It's really just 5 episodes away.
Sometimes you don't feel like it's close to Halloween.
True.
I was just listening to that today.
I love that song. Da, 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 da.
That's another thing. Hannah and I are deciding whether to do a crazy friggin', I wouldn't call it irresponsible, but just I would fly to Boston on a fucking middle of the
Tuesday.
week to see B. Steadwell perform in Boston, open for someone who the person she's opening for sounds groovy, and then fly home the next day. And we're deciding whether to do it. So if you have any input on that,
where in Boston is it? Do you know?
Winery.
What?
Does that sound familiar, Ben? It's
no
Winery.
No.
Hold on. It's Winery.
I think it is just called Winery.
It's called Winery. Hold on. I can actually find it on the map. Just I know where it is. It's okay. Hold on, it's coming in here.
Winery.
Coming in hot.
It's called Winery. Okay, hold on. Where is it? I thought I could find it on here.
Oh my god.
I thought it would just say Winery.
Did you search for Winery?
Oh, I should. Winery.
You're just looking around Boston on a map.
Yeah, I am. Well, because I looked at it last night. City Winery.
City Winery.
City Winery. Okay.
Okay, like the city in front of it helps. Like one of the most generic words, city. You're like, oh, city winery. It's like implied.
It's in the North End.
It's in the North End.
In the North End.
Of the city.
You could go to Paul Revere's house while you're there. It's like 2 blocks
Maybe
away.
I could stay there. It's probably not. It doesn't sound like it. It's not 2 blocks, is it? It's very far, actually.
It's close. How dare
not
you?
2 blocks from what?
It's...
Winery?
Yeah, it is.
Winery?
I think it's like 2 or
It's
4
called
blocks.
Winery.
It's in Venti Square. Like 1,
That's like a 2-minute
2,
walk.
3, 4.
No, those aren't like... But
Five.
those are just street crossings, not necessarily like blocks.
All right. I know that you weren't sure
1.
about the Halloween brainstorm, but I'm certain this is not good podcast content.
Anyway, if you think we
Listen,
should go to Winery and our Paul Revere house to see Beast at Well play, let us know.
Let us know. Yeah. It would be my last vacation day that I get for the year, but I already have time put in for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
And another piece of information to consider is that in October of 2007, I flew up kind of spontaneously, rando in the middle of the week to Boston to see a Missy Higgins concert with Hannah, and it was like the most amazing, charmed trip. And it was like 100% worth the time and the money, and we loved it, and like would never have not chosen that. If we could like go back in time, is that true?
Yeah, it was like you and I like weren't, we just were in a period where we weren't talking very often. Like I was like maybe 2 years into college, and I was just very like absorbed with all of that, and then like we both. I don't know how we realized we both were into Missy Higgins. I think you introduced me to her. And then when she came, she's Australian. So when she like turned up, we were like, this could be a once in a lifetime opportunity. And so we just did it. We just pulled it together. I had to take a bus. I was living in Amherst at the time, which is like 4 hours west of Boston. So I had to take a bus to the train station, and then we met at the train station. Erin had to take probably a train to the whatever North
to the
Station,
train
whatever.
Station,
train to the train station, and then
which they normally don't do, but they made an exception for me.
And then we took the subway out to like a B&B, and then we went, and she was playing in like this basement of like this vegan restaurant, so we got to see her sound check and her actual performance, and it was wonderful and lovely. We got to meet her like at least
get pictures with her.
Yeah,
and we got the people we were sitting next to were really nice and like bought us a t-shirt because we had traveled so far. It was just charmed in every way. All my flights got like upgraded to first class. It was just like,
is that true?
Yeah, it's true. It was so great. I just remember it so fondly and think back on it so fondly. I don't know if I told you this, Hannah. I almost called you Missy. I went to, of course, she was Australian and she was big in Australia, but she hadn't really done any U.S. touring, so we thought, us there like one shot. But then she ended up doing some pretty extensive U.S. touring in the later years. But I was at a concert with some friends. I probably did tell you this. And we were in the front row. It was actually Missy Higgins opening for the Indigo Girls, which was so amazing.
Cool.
And we were in the front, and she was like finished her set and kind of was holding her pick, and I like held my hand out because I wanted it. And she looked at me and she was like, "Oh, hi!" And all my friends who were there with me like looked at me, and I was like, "Sup, Missy?"
No, you never told me that. That's amazing.
She like recognized me.
That's so funny.
I thought I was like waving to her, and she was like, "Oh, hey, hey, girl."
Here's what I remember about here, other than all the stuff you already said, which I do remember, except for the part where your flights were upgraded both ways, which is amazing. I remember that was that trip was the first time that you told me you were a lesbian. You came out to me.
Is that
do you remember
right?
that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, because I remember us being like on a train together, and you being like, "Hey, by the way, here's this thing," and I remember us having a lot of deep conversations about it, like during the whole trip, because I had just kind of started to like think about my own sexuality and like that I might be bi, and like so we were like bonding over it, and also talking about like we had all these deep conversations about it. And the other thing I remember is that and you know what else? I remember being really excited about it too, because I was nervous because like when the last time that you and I had really talked like frequently, Erin, I think you were still like pretty religious, and I was afraid that my new lifestyle of like sin and debauchery, not necessarily like sexuality wise, but like with, you know, like pot smoking and stuff would
weed.
The devil weed would be something that you would not approve of. And so, you know, we were able to bond over the fact that we just both had changed and we accepted each other. And I mean, you didn't change into a lesbian, but you know, you changed into an out lesbian.
Yeah, there's choices that you made, like being a lesbian. We had this time.
And I just glossed over it. Keep on going.
I remember that too. That we have been close all our lives, except for probably like end of high school, beginning of college, like that sort of time. Like we've been like so close before then. And that was a time that it was like, I remember being a little nervous, like, what if we don't have anything in common anymore? But it was like totally great. We had a great time. And I feel like that kind of reconnected us for ever. Yeah.
No, but the other thing I remember is you being just really embarrassed by how I talked to Missy Higgins.
Oh, sorry.
Do you not?
I don't remember that. I don't remember being embarrassed. I'm sorry.
Because I walked up to her and I was like, I just have to tell you, like, your voice, I didn't expect it to be as beautiful as it is, like, on your CDs in person. And, like, gave her all these nice compliments about how much I liked her singing. Yeah, it was, like, more beautiful. And you were like, God, Hannah, like, be cool. And then you walked up and you were like, hey, so, like, what advice do you have for a young musician just starting out?
It's just not cool. It's not like I was being cool. I wanted to be with her. I don't know if you knew that, so I thought you were maybe, like, ruining my shot. So.
I guess I didn't pick up on that. I'm sorry. I should have been a better wingman.
The whole, like, coming out to you and, like, flew halfway across the country. It was strategic. Yeah, you're just, like, not picking up on it. I was like, you're macking on my girl right now. You're supposed to...
I've never been good with subtext. I'm so sorry.
It's fun. I really don't remember that, though. I'm so sorry. I apologize if you're still holding on to it. Please release it. Let it go.
I wasn't.
Forgive me for being embarrassed about how you were talking to Missy Higgins, the totally legitimate way you were speaking to my almost girlfriend. Okay.
You're at least best friend at this point. I mean,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that was a fun trip down memory lane. I feel like I just recovered some memories.
Yeah. Same. So let's do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very tempting.
It's very tempting.
Let me see, what else? Okay, I think that's all I have for upfront stuff. So should we get to the middle stuff?
Am I
Should we get to the back front stuff?
Ben, yeah, you're first.
Holy shit, Ben. I knew it.
Ben, what's your obsession?
Y'all, it's a book.
Oh.
A beeping book?
A beeping book?
It's a cookbook.
A cookbook!
By the name of The Cardamom Trail.
Oh.
It's Chetna's cookbook.
Chetna.
Is that what you thought it was, Erin?
No, I thought it was a Roomba.
No.
I thought it was the Roomba cookbook.
No, it's Chetna's from season 2? Is she season 2? Or season 1? I think she's season 1 of Great British Baking Show.
I can't Google any Great British Bake Off things right now. I'm so sorry.
It's alright.
I have to wait until I'm done.
Hold on.
Did somebody who might be Ian deliver you something that might be tea?
Someone who was definitely Ian delivered me some tea. It only took him a half an hour.
No tip for him.
Ian.
And it is throat coat tea. Thank you, Ian.
Call him Tian.
Thank you, Tian.
Thank you.
I don't think he
I
heard
got
you.
tea today. That's part of...
He heard you. That's because my audio is going in your headphones.
Let me see. I can Google it because I'm inoculated. So Chetna,
I think she's season 1.
GBBO. I think season 1 has different.
Yeah, they're different seasons for us.
Yeah, I think it's season
Right.
2 in Britain and season 1 here.
Well, it's series 5 in Britain, so
Wow.
way off.
So you're fucking wrong.
2014.
Oh, I just love Chetna.
I love Chetna. She was one of our favorites, and she always made such fun stuff. So for Christmas, Aunt Brown and Uncle Brown got, my parents, Aunt Brown and Uncle Brown, got Kylie and I her cookbook, and we haven't made anything from it since we got it, but we've been watching GBBO, and I decided today I was going to make bread.
Hell yeah.
And so I went out, and this was actually, I mentioned this to Erin before, I think before we started recording, I had to go to 4 different grocery stores today because Chetna uses, in her recipes and on the show, so many like unique spices, a lot of Indian spices that are pretty fucking hard to find. I first went to, the one I was looking for today was amchur, which is like a spice that's made of unripened mangoes that are dried and then ground into a powder. And it's...
What?
It's...
Hang on, can you say that again?
Say what part?
What the
Start
spice...
from the beginning. What's your question?
Amchur. A-M-C-H... Well, it's spelled defeated in Res, but A-M-C-H-U-R, A-M-C-H-O-O-R.
Okay.
And it's ground up, dried, unripened mangoes.
Wow,
What?
that's a spice?
Yeah, and it smells amazing, and I can smell my bread in the oven from here. That was the beeping, actually, it was the timer for it finishing its second prove.
Oh, man.
It's-
That is fancy as fuck.
Yeah, it's a caron. It's a savory potato caron.
Oh my god.
Oh, my God.
I'm excited to eat it after we're done, so hurry up.
It's a savory potato. What now?
Caron.
Coron.
It's
How you
French
spell
for
that?
crown. C-O-U-R-O-N-N-E. It's the kind where like you twist it up and then spin it into
Yeah.
a circle. It's not going to be the prettiest, but it's going to taste good, I'm pretty sure.
So that'll be for dinner?
Yeah, I don't, we'll probably make something else because I don't think we should have just bread, but it's a hearty bread, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We're
Whatever.
not
Just
here to
hearty
judge
bread.
you.
So I had to go to... First I went to Whole Foods because I figured they'd have, like, a bunch of different spices, right? And they didn't have it.
Right?
And so I went to Gelson's. They did have it, but they were out.
So they didn't have it.
So they didn't have it. But this actually ended up being good because then I was like, well, I should go to an Asian supermarket. Doi. So I went to this place called Zion Mart. I have so many grocery stores near me. So many cool grocery stores like Zion Mart, which is like...
Congrats.
It's great. It's an Asian supermarket, but it's all like East Asian. There's not a lot of Indian stuff there. But while I was there, I did get my favorite tea, which is hojicha, that I discovered I loved when I was working at the tea house this summer. And I couldn't find anywhere else. It's a roasted green tea.
Sounds like a Pokemon.
It does. I would believe someone if they told me it was. No, I wouldn't. I know all the Pokemon. Who am I kidding?
Oh, it's roasted.
Yeah, it's-
Green tea. Did you just say
I did just say that, yeah.
Ben, it's roasted green tea.
So you said that. Oh, it's roasted green tea. Finally,
I love the concept of someone not listening to what you explained because they're too busy Googling what you just said.
Like before when we used to record the podcast, I literally couldn't do anything else on my computer or the Google Hangout would putz out, and now my internet's so amazing. I can like stream YouTube videos. I can be like doing a whole thing. So I'm just like going a little overboard. Okay,
Feeling the power.
that's right.
I finally ended up going to this awesome little market that I'm definitely going to go to in the future for more Chetna recipes because it's an Indian and British grocery store called Nina's.
Perfect.
I don't think it's in Lake Forest, California.
Oh, it's an Indian and British grocery store.
Did I say its name?
Nina's.
Yeah, okay, good. As
See,
a
we're
test.
listening.
It wasn't. I actually genuinely forgot if I said it or not.
I googled it, and actually, it's a wing bites and pizza.
Ben, you got that wrong. Good thing we're Googling, Hannah.
Actually, it's a roasted green tea.
It's a roasted green tea.
So
Nina's restaurant.
no, it's not a restaurant.
No, it is. It is. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
That's it. It's
Where
the
is
cookbook.
it?
It's the first thing I've made from it, but I'm gonna make more stuff now because we have. Oh, and also because we have an island now. There's so much space to knead bread. It was so exciting.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
How long do you need it for?
It says 8 to 10 minutes. I ended up needing it for like 15 though because I was doing it poorly, so I wasn't getting my gluten strands.
Yeah.
So I did a little longer.
You gotta really firm up those glutes.
You gotta firm the glutes. Gotta work the glutes.
It's a weird, interesting little bread feedback loop we're in now because actually the reason that Ian was inspired to make his bread, his WayTooBroad bread, is that my dad, Uncle Brown, was telling us about your island and how you had been so excited because it would be a great place to make bread.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Ian said, we don't have a good place to make bread, but I would really like to bake more. And I said, well, if you would stop putting things all over the counter. And then I cleaned off the counter for him.
Wow. That was a sweet mixture of passive aggressiveness and like acts of service.
Is passive aggressive one of the love languages?
I think it might be. It's like you love people the way you want to be loved, so you're passive aggressive. That must mean something.
Bread. You guys,
Did I tell
this
you guys
bread
I made
smells
bread
so
recently?
good.
I was about to ask how it smells up in there.
Good. I didn't even mention what was in it because it's also the cool thing about Chetna's cookbook. Sorry to cut you off, Erin, but this is very exciting news.
It's fine. You're good.
The cool thing about Chetna's cookbook is that like it's not just baked goods. The whole like back part is for a whole different range of chutneys that she like uses in all the recipes. This one uses a chili and garlic chutney. And it's...
She should call them chutneys, don't you think?
You're
Yeah,
totally
or Chetna
right.
chutneys.
Yeah, absolutely. Missed opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah, she needs to talk to us next time she does a cookbook.
Yeah, we should...
Fuck, she already has a second one.
Oh.
Chetna, reach out.
Chetna.
It's called Chai, Chat, and Chutney, and we could have made her name
Oh my
into all of those
God.
words. We could have portmanteaued all of those words with her name. And she call us. Sorry, continue.
No, that's it. Bunch of chutneys. They all look really good. I'm gonna make them all.
Man, that's great. I have this round of GBBO. I have been wanting to bake desserts so bad. The only issue is my my wife who I'm dating is lactose intolerant. But I'm like, I kind of gotta be like, fuck it, I gotta bake. You know, I gotta bake.
Be like, honey, what if I was allergic to bees? Would you still be baking?
She would. She would. Yeah. She. If I were like, I want to bake this thing that has all the dairy in it, she would just be like, that's her being the wind beneath my wings. Like she would just like without a doubt, no doubt in my mind.
So sweet.
Great job,
Man,
Molly.
that's great, Ben.
Thanks.
Great job with your bread. Time is truly a flat circle. Because we've gone back to GBBO, now we're back to bread.
Yeah, my obsession was making bread, I think, once. I think all of ours has been, probably.
No.
Not Hannah.
Yeah, Hannah doesn't fucking
Hannah
make
made
bread.
When has Hannah made a goddamn thing?
Aaron, you said you
Rarely.
made bread lately, too. Lately?
Yeah, I made bread just the other day, on Friday.
What kind of bread?
On Friday.
When did you make it?
I made it on Friday.
It's called
Winery.
Friday.
What? It's called winery.
It's this day of the week. It's at the end of the work week. It's called Friday. I made a 75% wheat bread. The interesting thing about the ones that I make, like these hearty loaves, is that you don't knead them, which is a little
What the fuck?
bit of a bummer. You
Kneading's
fold
so
them.
fun.
You give them gentle folds a few times. And that's it. Yeah. You hand mix them. Once you're done mixing them all together, you give them a couple folds over a period of like 4 hours. Like you'll maybe fold it 4 times in 4 hours.
Weird.
Yeah. Yep. But that's just because of the type of bread it is.
According
Bread's
to my
weird.
mom, sourdough starter is really good in California.
Oh.
So I'm
yeah,
thinking
because
I
there's
might
like
do
the
that.
San Francisco sour or something.
So maybe I'll make a sourdough starter.
You should.
Make it.
That's what I just.
Make that
Make it.
That's what
sourdough.
I just fucking said.
All right.
I'm excited to hear all sorts of updates. And pop in with detailed smellograms from your house as your bread is cooking. That's one thing I would... Oh, sorry, go.
Well, do they have like the smelling feature over Slack yet, where you can send a smell?
I wish so.
Yeah,
That'd
it's
be
gonna
cool.
happen for sure. It's a yet.
It occurs to me every once in a while when watching GBBO that it must smell fucking amazing in the
God,
tent.
yeah.
And I want there to be like some subtitles of like a really good writer who's like in the tent who's just describing in luscious detail how it smells. That's like the closest that we can get to words mapping to a smell. I want to like get a detailed description of how it must smell. You know? Or like a segment where there's like a whole nother person whose only job it is to like walk by each station and describe to us what it smells like.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to quickly preview what I think I'm gonna make next from the cookbook.
Ooh.
There's a
Okay.
chili and chocolate bread.
Oh, that sounds
so
amazing.
good that I think I'm gonna try and make maybe even tomorrow or in a couple days.
That sounds so good. You should do it.
Yeah.
Make it and send us some.
Won't keep.
That'll be $1 million to ship that.
Happy birthday! Baby Ben's a year older
birthday.
since the last time we recorded.
Holy
Been a whole
birthday,
year.
shit, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Cool. Well, good job with bread. All the bread making. And finding the spices. Very good. Great story. Wonderful energy. So.
Oh, interesting. In this cover art, she's like peeling a mango with a peeler. That's a good
What?
way to do it.
That's what the tool's made for.
How else would you do it?
Well, I cut the sides off and then make them into little hedgehogs and then cut the mango out of the peel that way.
Okay.
You're a freak.
It's a great way to do it. But I trust Chetna more than I trust me. Good one, Ben.
Fine.
Great. Ben. It's my turn now.
Welcome to you now.
Welcome to me now. Have we ever explained why we say that?
I don't know.
No,
It was
I don't
just
think we have. Why do we
good-
say that, Hannah?
It was just a good answer that I did on a Jackbox game one time. We were playing Quiplash, and the question was, like, something you'd say to insert yourself into the conversation. Mine was welcome to me now, and that we all say it all the time.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Thank you. So that's where that came from. Everybody who's listening to this, please feel free to use that in any given situation. You're welcome.
To me now.
You're welcome to me now.
I
Congratulations.
had taken a little sip of my drink and put it back in the cup to make sure to insert my joke. That's how dedicated I am to
Great.
timing here.
Great dedication.
I was like,
Well, I think I'm just gonna... I've been trying to figure out how I want to phrase my obsession this week. It was sort of another kind of latecomer. I sort of just decided after I got home today. But I think I want to talk about a podcast And then I want to talk about some of the wonderful ways that I've discovered some indie podcasts recently. But I want to talk about another indie podcast that I think that you guys would like and that our other listeners would like. And I also happen to know that the person that makes that podcast is listening to our podcast
Holy
right now.
Shit.
Right now when we're recording it?
Are they in your house?
Fuck!
They're right behind me, right over there. They're hiding inside my wedding dress bag behind me. No, but when it comes out, you know. So the podcast is called But Yeah. And the reason I started listening to it is...
B-U-T-T?
But yeah.
Predictable.
No. B-U-T. But they should consider changing it, I think.
Now, was that but you just said B-U-T or B-U-T-T?
I said B-U-T.
Okay, just making sure. You spelled it the same.
I didn't spell it the same, did I?
Did you just say doing?
Oh, good. Homestar Runner. No, I started listening to But Yeah because I'm in a group on Facebook for people who like My Brother, and Me and are also like have their own podcasts. And it's really nice because it's actually like every My Brother, and Me related Facebook group is really obviously full of like wonderful people, like funny, kind, sweet, just like lovely people. I'm in this Facebook group called Cat Heaven Meow, which is like it's just a group for Mabim Bam fans or McElroy fans who also really love cats, and there's no moderation, there's no moderator that approves posts. It's just like everybody just posts all of their cat pictures and videos and cat related content that they want, just like willy nilly, and everything gets like 1,000 times more like reactions and love and comments than it does on my regular Facebook feed. So I do not post cat pictures on my Facebook feed anymore. I only post them in my group because they're the only ones that deserve them, and it's so nice. It's just so nice. There's like all these little like subplots and stuff. Everyone's so supportive. But this other group is also very nice. It's podcasters, and we started up this Discord to try to do like sort of a like feedback exchange thing. Not like reviews, but like just like maybe if you have some questions about just like what's good and what's not good about my show or whatever you want to know, just like have someone who is willing to listen from an outside perspective and like give you their honest feedback on it. Like that was kind of what the purpose of it was. But this guy Eamon and I for like the first few days that this Discord existed, we were like the only two people active in it, and so we were like kind of throwing ideas back and forth. But then I just asked him what his podcast was, and he was like, "Oh, it's just me and my best friend, and we just like talk about whatever we feel like talking about every week." And I was like, "Oh, it's so funny. That's exactly what my podcast is." And so, so I went and listened to it, and it's just really great. It's very fun. So basically, the guy that I was talking to, his name's Eamon. He has a best friend named Zeb. They live in different parts of Australia. They're both Australian, and they have like. Some weeks, I think they just kind of decide on the fly what they're going to do, but they don't do, like, each one picks an obsession. They have some segments that they always do. Like, they almost always do, like, something called Days of the Week. Or they go to daysoftheweek.com, which is a website that tells you all of the different, like, holidays that are on the day that you're... But it's, like, the weird, obscure ones. Like, let me see what today is.
September 11th.
Yeah. Yes. Oh no. Not days of the week, sorry. Days of the year. That makes more sense. Days of the week. It's Tuesday Day.
Well, there's this day at the end of the week called Friday. And it's really nice.
It's called Winery.
Okay.
It's called
yeah.
I made bread that day.
Right.
You should probably add that to this website.
Daysoftheyear.com. Today is Chocolate Milkshake Day. So there's like all these just like random days, and they'll just like talk about how they're going to celebrate them. They have kind of stupid, like really long, detailed descriptions of why they all exist, that are kind of funny. So they'll like talk about that, and just like joke around, and then they'll kind of cover pretty much one topic together, and like badly, but in a very fun way. Like they did a whole thing on Paul Bunyan, where they just like read an article, like a not greatly written article from the internet about Paul Bunyan, and commented on it. And it was especially funny for me as an American listening to Australians talk about an American like folklore thing and like America in general, just like laughing at all of the things they were not understanding and getting wrong and getting right. And like,
I have 2 pieces of just updates on what you just said. Tomorrow is Chocolate Milkshake Day.
Oh.
Actually, it's September 12th. But it's both Chocolate Milkshake Day, milkshake spelled with one word, and also Chocolate Milk Shake Day, spelled with 2 words. So depending on how you observe that holiday, they're both for you. Today is Make Your Bed Day. Hot Cross Bun Day, which is every day as far as I'm concerned.
And
Patriot Day, and No News is Good News Day. So
No news is good news day?
Yes. Tomorrow is also Video Games Day.
Okay, yes, but listen, this is the description for No News is Good News Day. Take a break from the 24-hour news cycle on No News is Good News Day. Really, you can. Believe it or not, the world keeps turning even if you aren't plugged into every crisis, disaster, scandal, and tragedy. A day can be fulfilling without being crammed full of tidbits of celebrity trivia or the daily misdeeds of the great and not so good. Turn off the TV and radio, unhook from the web, and cancel the newspapers. Well, that seems extreme, because it's just one day. Cancel the newspaper.
Just like September 12th, cancel your newspaper. September 13th, call and renew your newspaper subscription. It's actually Renew Your Newspaper Subscription Day.
Yeah, right. It's the next day. If the weather really matters to you, look out of the window and be honest. When was the last time a traffic report actually turned out to be useful? If it seems the news is always bad news, you can put that to rights on No News is Good News Day. The world isn't all that bad when there's no one telling you how awful it all is.
I don't like the spirit behind that day.
I mean,
I gotta say. Because it's...
I agree with you, Ben.
It's such a privileged stance. I know it's just a day on a stupid website, but that opinion gets thrown around a lot nowadays, and it always bothers me. It's like you can only ignore it if you have the option to, and you can only do that if you're in a very privileged position.
Yeah.
Like, there are many people who can't ignore these kind of things, so I don't think we should either.
I agree. It is just a stupid day on a website. This website specializes in stupid days, so they make fun of them.
Well, they're doing their job then.
Yeah. They do like fun thought experiments together. So there's 2 really fun boys who are just like having a good time, and I find them fun to listen to on many levels, starting with their accents and continuing on through into their jokes and their like silly absurdist thought experiments. And, you know, also Eamon has been listening to our podcast and made a point to tell us how much he's been enjoying it today.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks, Eamon.
Thank you, Eamon.
Your name sounds like a Targaryen, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. What? Which one?
Eamon.
Eamon Targaryen?
Isn't that a Targaryen? I swear to it definitely sounds like a name from Game of Thrones. Yeah, Eamon Targaryen. Yeah, he's the old, the Night's Watch maester.
Oh. Hey, he said, "Hey Hannah, while you're online, just want to say I've been enjoying WayTooBroad lately. There are so many good goofs in there." He said, "The last 2 WayTooBroad were killing me," and then he was like, "The keg!"
Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the shout out. So nice.
Thank you for the nice comments, Eamon. And it's not like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, or anything like that. I truly have been enjoying the show.
Oh, you scratched my back.
You scratched my butt. Yeah.
Oh, that was good. I thought that was going to come back. I just didn't know how. There it is. So good.
But
that's
no.
really sweet. Thank you for the heavily alluded to good feedback.
Yeah, but
nice
it was
to
just,
hear.
it was nice because, like, I literally, like, was just about to tell him how much I'd been enjoying his show, and then he wrote that to me. And I just thought it was really nice. So,
Beautiful.
big, huge shout outs and big, great show. Everybody go listen to. But yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
UTT, yeah.
He has another podcast I haven't listened to called One Letter Better, which is probably also really good.
It's a very butt positive podcast. That's why I like it so much.
Yeah.
Good one.
That's
Nice.
all.
Hey, look at your nice mug with an H on it. Is that for hot? H for hot? Like hot tea?
H for Hannah.
Oh, speaking of Hannah, Molly typed Hannah's name to me. I was like, "Oh, can you send me this thing? Hannah wants to look at it." And she was typing and somehow typed Hannah's name as, hold on, I want to get it exactly. God, why won't this load? I thought I had nice internet.
It was. I thought you were nice, internet.
Ah!
It was haha.
Yeah.
H-A-H-H-A.
She said, yeah. She said, I was like, Hannah is asking for it. She said, H-A-H-H-A Butkowski. Haha, Butkowski. And she's like, what the fuck, Hannah? And I was like, well, that's her name now. So, good segment. Ha ha ha.
Thanks.
Ha ha.
Yeah, that's it. Erin, you want to go?
Yeah, well, go. All right, I have an obsession this week.
Good. That's the whole point.
I'm following the format of our podcast by having an obsession. And it is my third mystery beverage. No, I guess it's my mystery beverage, my third beverage.
Yeah.
Because I don't have two other mystery beverages. My obsession this week is kombucha.
Oh, is that homemade kombucha?
No, it's not. So, let me start from the beginning.
Okay.
This is kind of I'm not stealing Molly's obsession because I'm legitimately been obsessed with kombucha, but we both have. So it kind of started at my little brother's girlfriend. Shout out to Rachel. No,
Oh no.
that's so unfortunate. Her name is Rachel. It's not shout outs to Rachel, our cousin. My brother's girlfriend is not our cousin. I'm so sorry. If I could turn back time.
Shout
Did
out
we
to
lose
new
Ben?
Rachel. What?
Ben, are you there? We lost Ben.
Listen, no, I'm here.
Okay.
I muted myself because I was standing up to look at my bread.
Oh, okay.
It looks fantastic.
Wistfully. Yeah.
There were so many good goofs in there. I knew that you would laugh if you were there with us.
I would.
If you had been with us. So, my brother's girlfriend, whose name is Rachel, and shout outs to her. Oh boy. She gave Molly a SCOBY, which is basically, we'll get into that.
I know
It's
what
a
it stands for.
Symbiotic community of bacteria and yeast.
Yes.
Way
That's
to
exactly what it
steal that thunder, Ben.
No, that's good.
I wanted
That's
it.
nice.
wanna
Well,
eat
then
that
I wish
thunder.
I'd said it. I wanted to say it. I knew it.
Hannah, what is it?
It's a symbiotic community of bacteria and yeast.
You edited
Yes!
it. You could just make it so you said it first.
Maybe I will.
It's actually a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, so you both suck.
What is a culture if not a community?
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Ooh. That's not what it stands for. So anyway, she gifted Molly a SCOBY, and for those of you who don't know what it is, well, now you know what it stands for. It's basically the way that you start kombucha. So, it is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, and you put it in basically with sweet tea, and then it makes itself into kombucha. And I don't have the exact science on this, so I don't want to speak to it.
I know it
exactly what
eats the
happens.
sugar.
Yeah, the yeast eat the sugar. So basically, for Molly's birthday, my brother's girlfriend gave her a SCOBY. Excuse me. It was like at her birthday dinner, and my stomach had been kind of not been great for the past couple days, and so kind of like it was a ginger kombucha, and I was thinking like, oh, that ginger and probably the kombucha and also the carbonation would probably be nice on my stomach. So we also went to the store and bought a bunch of different bottles of kombucha also. And so we had just been kind of like drinking them all and tasting them all and kind of comparing them. And I'm not saying it like cured my stomach ills. I think I had like a little kind of bug that worked itself out. But it was definitely like really nice to drink, and I had been kind of like craving it and been drinking it a lot. And then Molly started a batch of it and bought this really, really beautiful I had like paused. The one time I paused, she like interjected it.
I said sorry.
Molly bought this great book called The Big Book of Kombucha, which is really beautiful, and I've been reading it, and it's a good blend of like there's science and these people's personal experience, but I don't think you can get a book written by kombucha enthusiasts that doesn't have a little bit of like kind of dips into like the kind of like okay, like you know,
the mythical health benefits.
Yeah, and particularly like introducing kombucha to newbies. We all know people who could use some kombucha in their life, but most people dislike getting a lecture about their health, especially if they didn't ask for any advice in the first place. So basically, there's what follows is like tricks to like trick your friends into drinking kombucha.
No, it's just like the end. Period. Most people don't like that.
Bring your kombucha to a party or potluck, perhaps labeled flavored tea, and it's literally like stake out a vantage point and enjoy the show as people react to the flavor.
What the fuck?
I was like, no.
Listen, I love kombucha, but if you're expecting like flavored tea or sweet tea,
no,
you're
That's
not gonna
fair
like
to
it.
them.
You're gonna be like, something's wrong with it.
You're gonna be like,
Did
someone
this
put
go-
vinegar in this.
This get fermented?
Yeah.
If your friends still refuse, slip a roofie in their kombucha and trap them in your basement and force feed them kombucha for a week. This is ridiculous. It's so crazy. Anyway, so it gets a little bit like that, which makes me uncomfortable. But...
Well, also, that's not even practical because right at the beginning it said slip a roofie in their kombucha, but they're refusing to drink the kombucha. So you'd have to slip it into a different drink. It's not even practical.
It's not even practical. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Offer people who spurn health talk a kombucha cocktail from chapter 13. Anyway, so those bits I'm a little like meh, but there is some really interesting science in it as far as like, you know, what is actually going on, what is, you know, the scientific process, kind of like why it might be good to drink it. I've just been enjoying drinking it. Honestly, I love the flavor. We've been buying store-bought kombucha, which is, as everyone knows, is super expensive. So I'm really excited for Molly's kombucha to be ready, which it will be soon. It takes about a week for the primary fermentation to be over. This book is really cool because it has like galleries of healthy SCOBYs, which I like. So as you're making kombucha, you can kind of check in and make sure like what you're seeing is normal, which I think is really good. It's got a ton of really cool recipes, and a lot of like nice history, and just a lot of different options about. Some of it is also a little judgmental, like why kombucha is good for your health, and some of it's like, oh, it's got some vitamins in it, and it helps you. It's acidic, and which makes your stomach more acidic, which helps you digest better. I'm like, okay, totally. But then it's like. It doesn't have... Drinking kombucha can reduce caffeine and sugar intake. Choosing kombucha over coffee as your morning eye-opener means less caffeine in your system. And it counteracts the harmful effects of caffeine. And I'm like, there's a lot of studies saying caffeine like in coffee is actually really good for you.
Yeah.
So, some of that seems a little... coming from a place of like a little more judgment, but mostly this book is really great, and I've been really excited about drinking tasty kombucha and trying different types and
kombucha doesn't wake you up. Honestly, I used to like this is so sad. Sometimes I would like bring it to work in the morning, and it's got like that tiny bit of alcohol in it, just the tracest bit, and I would feel like a little bit lightheaded, like just a minor tiny bit, like I probably was imagining it. But like drinking it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, there's no chance that would make you feel more alert. There's just no chance.
Yeah, it's definitely got a trace amounts at like 0.5%, and also that's like one of the things they cite as like health benefit, like low levels of alcohol.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's not
0.5%. That's higher than I thought, even.
Yeah, that's like store-bought kombucha. I think like our kind of homemade one will probably maybe even be a little higher.
Yeah.
Didn't you guys used to make booch?
We made booch a long time ago. Yeah. Not a lot, but we did. We had some SCOBY, and we did. So I'm excited to get back into it. This book has a ton of really cool recipes. Like, it has savory kombucha recipes. Some are a little ridiculous, like they have bacon in them, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. But one is like one has avocado in it, and I'm like, also not gonna do that. But some have like like jalapeno and cilantro and that sort of like kind of like a salsa pico de gallo sort of thing. And what's cool about it is when you add the flavoring that's in the second fermentation, which is in the bottle. So we have like, I think Molly got like 12 bottles, and so we can make like, if we wanted to, like 12 different flavors and kind of like play around with the flavors we like. You can, every time you brew kombucha, you get a new SCOBY. So it's basically like really sustainable. You can just like keep making it. There's even like methods described in this book to like basically have a never-ending batch. You like have a spout at the bottom, and you're basically constantly like pulling booch from it and adding more to make more and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm excited for our batches to be ready so I can stop buying super expensive kombucha. But yeah,
does it talk about in the book like how to make sure that you keep your bacteria the good kind when you're brewing kombucha?
It might talk about that. I haven't gotten to that.
Okay, because that's always my worry. It's like, I worry I'll accidentally touch the SCOBY or something will just like get in there that's not good and then proliferate.
Yeah, that's a good question. Molly probably could talk to that, but I think from what I've seen and what I've gathered, it's like pretty safe and foolproof. And one thing I wanted to mention too, the SCOBY that we got as a gift actually came from a store. So rather than like gifting us one of hers, it was like a sealed and a sealed SCOBY with like really clear directions. And so you knew it was like from if that helps, I would have trusted one from Rachel, but if that helps a new beginner of like, okay, this is absolutely foolproof. I'm going to do everything to the T, everything
to this T.
Let me find the brand there.
Yeah. Well, if you ever have too much SCOBY in the future, I found a cool video once that showed how to make SCOBY fruit snacks. You could do that. Yeah. Or SCOBY fruit leather, actually. I don't know if they do that. I think that's in the book. Is it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So the SCOBY that we got was a Fermentaholics kombucha SCOBY with 12 ounces of starter tea. So that's Fermentaholics brand.
Fermentaholics.
Yeah. And that makes a 1 gallon batch. And we'll then make more SCOBs.
Nice.
And that book is The Big Butch of...
What is it now?
That's me, the big bitch of kombucha. Big book of kombucha. Delightful.
Totally.
That's all for me.
Nice. Nice. But you should watch It's Alive, Erin, if you haven't. Brad does one about kombucha.
It's the first episode
I'll
of
watch
it.
That.
Yeah. Although I'm sure it's way, you're already probably past the types of directions he's giving, but still.
Well, I'm not making it. Molly's making it, so I'm just enjoying. I'm here for I'm along for the ride.
Right. Well, you guys are probably beyond that, but but it's fun. All right. So let's see. Let's talk more. And what we'll talk about is what we want people to do if they want to pursue the things we talked about today.
At home, in the comfort of their own home.
Yeah. It's called homework, but it's not really work because it's home fun.
It's home play.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. It's home session.
Yeah, home session. I like that. Sort of. Ben.
I like it, I don't love it.
What's your home session?
I guess the first thing would be, if somehow you're this far into our catalog of episodes and you haven't watched The Great British Bake Off, get to Netflix now, idiot. Stop what you're doing. Go to Netflix and watch the goddamn show.
Go do it.
And then
the show.
Make stuff. Bake stuff. Baking's fun. Make bread. Bread's good.
Make stuff, bake stuff.
If you want, get
Make bread, break bread.
Chetna's cookbook, The Cardamom Trail, because it's got a lot of fun recipes in it. I'm going to make more, and I'll probably talk about them in future episodes as I make more of them. Yeah, that's it. My Twitter is at nicelyprovedben. Speaking of baking.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah, it's pretty killer. I was waiting for a good one to switch, and I was satisfied with Bun Brown, but Nicely Proved Ben is just tops.
Did either of you guys hear how I handled that in last week's episode?
Yeah, I saw.
Yep. Nicely proved Ben. It was really seamless.
Ben as in Ben. You said bun as in nicely proved bun, so I took that out. I missed it at the end, though. We did say it again at the end, and I missed it.
Oh, well, that's just sloppy editing.
Yeah, it's just sloppy editing. I'm so sorry.
I'm pissed.
Cool. My homework is listen to... What's that?
I don't know.
What the fuck is that?
What the fuck was that?
Kylie, what was that? Accident?
Kylie had an accident.
A very musical accident. A melodious accident. All right. Listen to the But Yeah podcast if you like fun, silly people who have cool Australian accents and stuff. Or just nice people. And join a group. It doesn't have to be on Facebook. You could join like a Slack or a Discord group that for a shared interest, because it can be really fun and fulfilling and nice, and I like it. Erin, cool. What's yours? Oh, and my Twitter. I'm sorry, I have so many other things. Fuck. My Twitter is Anthropology. That's also my Instagram, and also I have another podcast called So Dreamy. We talk about dreams, and it's been super fun lately. We did another one where we listened to not the one that's going to come out this week. It came out last week, so go back and listen to it. But we talked about another podcast called The Story Relived, and we did a whole thing about it, and it was really fun. And I like those.
Yeah, that was chill.
Yeah, it was really nice. Thanks, Erin.
It was chill.
Thank you. That's what we go for over there.
It was chill, except you're like, I don't think he was dreaming. But he was. Yeah. That was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Erin.
Hot take. He was awake the whole time. Sorry. Okay. Hey, everyone. My homework is to try some kombucha. Drink some kombucha. If it makes you feel good, great. If it doesn't, stop drinking kombucha. Trick your friends into drinking. Hide in a corner. Drug your friends. Force them to drink kombucha. Make some kombucha. Feed your pets kombucha. Don't do that.
Is that the only one they shouldn't do?
Yeah, no, they can drug their friends. It's totally fine.
Okay.
The things I referenced were
Fermentaholics,
kombucha, SCOBY, and the Big Book of Kombucha. My Twitter's at Ernburn. I review lesbian movies at LesbianMovieReviews on Instagram.
Yeah. And also, if you want to, send us an email. If you want to find our Twitters where you can click on them. If you want to be able to click on our contact information. If you want to see the index of all of our obsessions. If you want to interact with us in virtually any way, you can find the best way to do that on WayTooBroad.com, our very own website.
We've talked about 157 things.
Wow. Yeah, because all of us did 2 each last week. So that bumped our number up.
Yeah, we're just padding our number there.
And also, if you feel like talking to us with your voice, you can call us and leave us a message at 774-326-0420. Blaze it.
You know, I would just like to interject an important note about calling us. No one will answer the phone.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're kind of a phone-phobic person, we're not going to answer that shit.
It won't even ring.
So you're just calling to leave a message. It won't even ring.
Yeah.
It might ring once. But just call with ease. No one's going to answer that.
Nope.
Just leave a message.
Yep. You can just leave a message. No one will pick up the phone.
No one will pick up the phone.
The person...
No one will pick up the phone and then feed you kombucha against your will. Nobody's going to do that. Stop assuming we're going to do that. We're not going to do that.
The person whose phone is linked to that number is also very afraid of the phone. So she will not pick up even if somehow that function gets turned on. So do not worry about that. It's me.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about any of those things. None of those things.
Don't you worry about a thing.
Nothing else matters.
Yeah. And thanks for listening. And you guys are great. We love you. And
you're so great. And we just love you.
And we'll talk at you a week from now. The podcast candle is now extinguished.
Bye-bye.
What were you going to say, Erin?
Bye. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
I gotta go eat this bread.